Hi everybody, Miss Ashley here with another after hours session for you. Now it is -17 out right now, so it's chilly. So I thought it's a great time to make a masala chai tea. Now, there are lots of different variations on how to make this tea. This is definitely not the only recipe. This happens to be my recipe, a variation actually, a recipe that was taught to me about, oh gosh, maybe 12 years ago. So I'm going to share it with you. My handy helper is laughing behind the camera. No tea for you. You're missing out. Anyway, so what you need to do is make this tea. You have to have a bunch of spices. This is definitely a very spice heavy tea. And I like to think it's quite intimate because you really get to play with the spices and tweak it to how you like your tea. So for example, we are going to need some loose leaf black tea. I'm using this Sloan, but you could use any particular brand. You're going to need a cinnamon stick. If you don't have one of these, you can use regular ground cinnamon. It will taste the same. I just happen to have cinnamon sticks, so I'm going to use them. You're going to need some black peppercorns right here. You're going to need some star anise. You're going to need some cardamom pods and some cloves. And I'm going to add a little bit of ginger to my recipe. You can omit this if you don't like ginger. I'm going just a little bit, not too much, just a little hint of ginger. And I'm going to use evaporated milk, but you can use regular skim milk, whole milk, 1%, whatever, cream. I'm going to use this to make it nice and luxurious. So I have my hot water already boiling, and you're going to want to add about 4 cups of hot water to your tea. But before you add the hot water, I like to get my spices a little bit cooked first. It releases some of the oil. I think it adds a bit nice flavor to it. So we are going to just turn this off because it's done. Move it over there. Get yourself a good heavy bottom pot for this, and just turn it on. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your black peppercorns, and you're going to want about a 1/4 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon of black peppercorns. You're going to need one nicely sized star anise right there. Aren't they pretty? And they smell so good. They smell just like licorice. So if you like licorice, you add a bit more of those to your pot. Now for cloves, I like mine a little clove forward. So I go with a 1/2 teaspoon of cloves. Put that in. And now for the cardamom, I like about 2 tablespoons. Now what you do first is you want to try to break the cardamom just to let it release. So I'm going to use this lid. I'm just going to crush it a bit just to release the oil a bit. There we go. There we go. Alright, that looks good. Oh, I'll give it one more for good measure. It's been a long day. Alright, there we go. Here's our cardamom pods. We're going to put that like that. We're going to put in the 1 cinnamon stick like that. Then you're going to want to give this just a bit of a... We want to just toast them. We don't want to get them overheated. Now you're going to need to take... I'm going to turn it down low. It's down low. You need to take your ginger. And I cut a little piece off. I just take all the rough edges off. And you're just going to give a little slice and just cut it. Now be careful with this. It's a sharp knife. It's a little tiny piece of ginger. Maybe parents, you want to do that. but just a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit. Oh, look at you. And then that's it. Just give it a little toast. You just want to release the oil just a little bit. Okay, so my spices are nice and toasty. We don't want to burn them, we just want to give them a light toast just to release the oils. And now we're going to put our water in our pot. There we go. Okay, the water is in our pot. About 4 cups worth here. Now the reason why I have 4 cups is because I'm going to be using loose leaf tea. If you use a tea bag, then it won't absorb as much water, but this will actually absorb a lot of water. So you want to have a fair amount in there. So we're going to take the lid off. Gosh. Okay, there we go. I'm putting a full tablespoon. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to do another half. Like that. And now this needs to steep. This is definitely not a quick tea by any stretch. So this needs to steep for about 15 minutes. And the longer that you allow it to steep, the more flavor it's going to build. So this just needs to be resting. Put it on a low temperature. We don't want to burn it. We're just going to let this steep, and then we will come back and we will do part 2 of our chai tea. So you wait there. So my tea has been steeping now for quite some time, and now it's time to give it a stir. And now we need to add another very important ingredient, and that is sugar, because this tea is bitter. Okay, it has a lot of bitter notes to it, so you need to make friends with some sugar or some honey or brown sugar or whatever sweetener you prefer to use. So this is going to need about probably 3 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, so put 1, 2, there we go, that's 2. Give it a stir, add 1 more tablespoon. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Give that a stir. Now I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit more. And now I am going to add my milk. So I'm using evaporated milk for this, but you can use regular milk, cream, whatever you prefer. I just want this to be a little extra luxurious because it is a really cold day out, so I thought, why not? Why not? Why not go that extra mile? Try not to get your lid in your can. Yeah, I'm full of good tips for you, as usual. Okay, so we need to turn the temperature up to get this to a boil. Now we're going to pour our milk in. All the way in. And now we need to just keep our eye on it. Now this is where you have to baby it for a little bit. You want to get this to a high temperature. Not enough that it's going to burn, but just enough that we can get everything nice and steeped into the milk here. So when you keep your eye on this for about maybe 5 minutes of stirring, just to make sure everything gets nice and incorporated, all the flavors meld, and it gets to a good temperature. So I'm going to stand here enjoying the heat and stirring my tea. So I'll be back to show you the finished product. So as you can see here, it is minus 17.7 degrees outside, so it's super warm out there. So the finished product is done. Now, because you had all of the spices and all of the loose leaf tea, you are going to need to pour your tea through a strainer like I did here. This one happens to fit nicely into my mug, but you can use just a regular strainer and do a pour over method, or use a ladle. Try not to burn yourself because it is pretty hot, but these are really super handy. I got this one from the dollar store, and it can just fit into the appropriate size mug, and it's easy peasy. So after you've done this, just take this out. You don't need it anymore. You just need to discard it. There you go. And now before I finish, I like to add one more spice because let's keep the spice party rolling. And I'm going to add a little bit of a Sri Lankan cinnamon, because it's actually a much softer, more mellow cinnamon than the regular kind. It's a nice finisher. So there's a little tiny bit, little bit there, just like that. And that is how you make my version of a masala chai. I think it tastes better than a Starbucks version because this is homemade. So all of you teens out there who are craving, you know, a good chai tea, this is a recipe worth trying. And remember, you can tweak it to your own specific taste. If you don't like ginger, omit it. You like more clove, add more. You like more sugar, go wild. It really is a recipe for you to tweak, and as you adapt, so can your tea. So until next time, I am going to enjoy my lovely masala chai tea. I hope that you have a lovely night, and I hope that you like and subscribe to the Miss Ashley YouTube Storytime channel for more great recipes and books and dogs and whatever else I post. So until next time, take care and have a good night.